Hmm. Good morning, my friends. How are you? I'm just live. Don't think I'm going to go live on Instagram this morning. Bruce, good morning. How are you? Ed, good morning. Doesn't look like I will be live on Instagram this morning. Mike, good morning. How are you? So we'll hold off on the Instagram this morning. I'll go live on Instagram tonight then. Lost Glove, Tim, Mike. Hey, thanks for joining me this morning on Behind the Mic here from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Doing a last minute adjustment here. I had a couple of minor tech problems. Using a different camera than what I want and not live on Instagram this morning. Let me switch back to something I can read a little bit better without glasses on. There we go. Tim, good morning. Lost Glove, good morning. Uncle Johnny, how are you? Brent, good morning. Mad Jack, Robert, Craig, my friend, always a pleasure. Well, that quality just looks like crapamolo. Big question is, how is the audio? Art, where are you? Aren't you in the studio next to me here? No, I think you're off, aren't you? Good hunting in 2024. Appreciate that. Art Lewis is usually sitting right next to me here in the other studio. But not this morning. My name is Mike Avery. This is another edition of Behind the Mic from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. The last one, you're over at Art Noe. Okay. Steve, good morning. Last behind audio is good. Good. I appreciate that, Tim. Last behind the mic for 2023. Hard to believe that we're already at the end of a new end of the year, isn't it? All kinds of little technical glitches here this morning, but that's all right. I are a professional and I can deal with them. Anyway, I hope you had a great Christmas morning. Hey, Jim, now I can put a face to the name. Thanks for joining us this morning. I appreciate it. Linda, how are you? Hopping on to wish you a great 2024. Right back at you. You know, that's the wish for everybody, right? A wonderful new year. Oh, Craig, going down to the D to fish with Doug Ward on Friday. Have an empty seat if you're interested. I do need to get out fishing for sure. Andrew checking in from Door. Hey, Joe, how are you? Merry Christmas to you, my brother. Hope you had a great Christmas season. I hope you get a chance to relax. I know our new pastor, Pastor Kaiser, did so many different services over Christmas. I think he's probably still sleeping. He's young, just like you are. You guys can take it. That's why we put you in those positions, because you're young guys with a lot of energy. My favorite Mike. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. I'm in here to record the last radio show of 2024. Peacock Bass in Naples. How cool is that? Butch checking in from East Lansing, or from Lansing. I shouldn't say East Lansing. I'll tell you who's coming up here on the Outdoor Magazine radio show in just a minute here. Tyler, 10 walleye, 2 lake trout on Saginaw Bay yesterday. I want to get out on the bay so bad I can't stand it. Linda, pulled plugs on the big manatee yesterday, put a couple of fish in the boat, open water on Lake Mitchell. Crazy, isn't it? Toro Grossa told me here several weeks ago, he said, if we get through November and December and there's not much of a winter, there won't be much of a winter. He said, really, the chances for wintertime, he said, from his perspective weeks ago, were in November and December. Well, now we're through November and through December, and we still haven't had winter. It was 55 degrees yesterday in my neck of the woods. Crazy. I'm glad I'm not an ice fisherman. Jerry says unseasonably warm in the Adirondacks. I thought I had Jim Ward. I did. Okay, Jim Ward and Jerry Ward. I was getting confused there for a minute. Mr. Mapes, good morning, buddy. How are you? How is the family? Hope you guys had a great Christmas. And Mark Torregrossa is in the know. He talks like he knows what he's doing. I think he does know what he's doing. All right, so Happy New Year to you, my friends. Northern Lights Bear Service, Happy New Year. Bear Guide Service, right back at you, Jeff. I'm really hoping here in 2024 I will get a Michigan tag and can hunt with Johnny Bowler. Nothing against you, Jeff, but I'm a good friend of Johnny's. Been hunting with him a few times now. I understand you run a first-class operation as well, though. Ice fishermen here need ice. Yeah, you guys who like the ice fishing, you want ice right now. You're not going to get it for a little bit, I don't think. I will also go back to White River, Ontario in August and hunt with Ron St. Louis. So I hope to have a couple of bear hunts in 2024. I still don't have a Michigan deer. Boy, the fat lady is singing, isn't she? I was debating here. I thought I had given up on our lease property. I've got a couple of friends who say, look, I got does coming into our food plots in daylight every day. Why don't you come and shoot one of mine? And I appreciate that. But the more I think about it, it's like, okay, I'm pretty stubborn. And it's like, I want to get a doe on our lease. So I might give that one more shot. Tommy, where'd you go, Tommy? There's Tommy. Good morning, Tommy. Good morning, Randy. Jim, good morning. Chris, Mid-Michigan doe poll yesterday in Marion Springs, turning your does from 5 to 10. Today in Marion Springs. Excellent. Matt, good morning. How are you? Matt, doggone it. I've been a little busy with Christmas and everything that was going on, and I apologize. And I dropped the ball on what you had proposed to me. Probably too late to resurrect it, Matt. I apologize. Let's touch base later this afternoon. That's on me. It just got so crazy and so busy at Christmas time. We had family in, and things just got away from me. Corey, listen, Corey is one of the guys that I was saying, a friend of mine who said, look, he's got does coming into food plots every day. And I was just about to text you, Corey, and say, I want to come out. But as I think about it, I'm going to live or die this year on the lease property. And I think it's going to be die. I think I'm going to go out to the lease property tomorrow, and that will be my last hunt for the year. I'm not optimistic, but it's like I just feel the need to try to make that happen out there. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Thank you, Matt. Balmy downtown Midland. Angela, we were in balmy downtown Midland last night. Your husband, Gus, took a picture of my truck just outside your restaurant. He said, hey, you walked by the best pizza in town. I know, but we were going over across the street for something a little else, something a little different. If it was pizza, we would have been at Pizza Sam's. Andrew, merry day 3 of Christmas. And Andrew, I enjoyed your post, your pictures from the Tittabawassee fishing from shore with that big steelhead. Very, very nice. Mike, I gotta go track one last doe. You guys are killing me. All you guys who are shooting multiple does are killing me. I do know how to get a hold of you, Corey, and I think you probably understand where I'm at. It's this: we put so much time and effort and energy into this lease property and food plots, and I feel like if I walk away from that, I'm a pretty stubborn guy, and I'm pretty hardcore in some areas. I know I could come over to your place, Corey, and shoot a doe. I know I could go to Tim Rollers and shoot a doe. I know I could go to Scott Hands and shoot a doe. I know I could go to Scott Gatz's and shoot a doe. But I feel like I want to make it happen in the lease property or not. I just feel like I would be letting myself down if I took the easy route, and came over and hunted with you, Corey. I just feel like I got to do it this way. Anyway, the weather has been crazy, hasn't it? Like I say, 55 degrees yesterday. Good morning, Dave. How are you? You notice the camera might look a little different here this morning? Maybe I can, Corey, maybe not. I don't know. A couple of the food plots that have been deer coming in right at dusk. Hey, George says, hey, take the easy route. You're still going to have to pay taxes either way. Easy versus stubborn. Easy versus stubborn. When I join you next week and say, I never shot a doe here in Michigan, what a loser I am, I might look back and say, I should have taken the easy route, but I don't think I'm going to do the easy route. The weather isn't helping. A lot of things are working against me out there, but Randy, good morning. How are you? Or do both. If I had the time, I could do both. I just don't think it's stubborn wins out. In my life, stubborn does win out. You're right, Brent. Hey, I thought I had the show repeat problem fixed. Westwood 1 is worthless, useless. Trying to get all the stations off Westwood 1. Last weekend, there were still a couple of stations who aired the Westwood version of the show, and for 7 weeks in a row, the second hour of the show repeated. Westwood 1, you're worthless. And I say that with all due respect. We're trying to get away from them, off from them, permanently. Last weekend, I got caught up in it again through no fault of mine or really anybody else's other than Westwood 1. By this weekend, we should have 30 of the 33 stations off Westwood 1. Billy Blair says, not much action this morning so far. I take it you're out in the blind, Billy? All right, so what else? Open water fishing, especially for walleye. Man, steelhead is good, around the west side of the state. Walleye open water on the east side of the state, Detroit River, Saginaw Bay, Lake Erie, Lake St. Clair, all are seeing lots of open water walleye action right now. That's another thing I need to get out and take advantage of. You still have time to put in on the Pure Michigan hunt. That's one of my goals for 2024. I don't make New Year's resolutions because resolutions are made to be broken. I make goals. One of my goals is to win the Pure Michigan hunt, and I'm going to do it. Another one of my goals for in 2024, I had a couple of goals. One was to spend more time fishing. I did. The other one was to take a bear. I did. The other one was to take a turkey. I did. And the last one was to take a big Michigan doe, and I didn't yet. So for 2024, an 11-pounder. I'm hearing a lot of 11-pound fish on Saginaw Bay. When the weather gives you lemons, you go open water fishing. No, Paul, not seeing any late season deer at all. But I'm stubborn to the point of being stupid and won't give up. Goals for 2024. Shoot a Michigan deer. It shouldn't be that hard. Christmas was extraordinarily blessed, Jim. I hope for you as well. To do more fishing, if that's possible. To take more newbies on the water. Also for 2024, one of my goals is to get rid of that stupid rod restrictions for Great Lakes trolling anglers. And there are some things in the works that could make that happen. And also to win the Pure Michigan hunt. Patrick says it's killing me, but I'm going out the last 2 days with the colder weather coming. I'll probably go out tomorrow. Another, and this isn't really a goal, this is a dream. This is a hope. Trini, good morning. How are you? Deer are extraordinarily nocturnal. We've got them coming into our food plots every night. Doesn't help me during the day. Bought 2 applications for the Pure Michigan Hunt. I've got a few in myself. Last year, the guy from the UP who won it put in 1 application. Bob Beaudry. He put in 1 application for the Pure Michigan Hunt, and he won the darn thing. Okay, so this is not a resolution. This is not a goal. This is a hope. This is a dream. In fact, I texted him this morning. I so badly want to get back in touch with Mitch Rompola. And it's not Rompola, it's Rompola. This is the story that won't go away. I find it interesting that most of the people who do not believe Mitch have never met Mitch. And most of the people who have met Mitch believe Mitch. I have met Mitch. I have spent some time with Mitch. I have interviewed him for television. I have interviewed him for the radio show. I put a call out to him, a text. I really want to get back in touch with Mitch. I've told him, if you're going to do it, Mitch, I'm your guy. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Mitch has just said, to heck with it. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Mitch, if you decide you want to talk, let's talk. If you Google Mitch Rompola online, you're going to find my videos I did with Mitch years ago. There's a radio conversation I had with Mitch years ago, right after he shot that big buck. We were not recording shows back then. However, 4 minutes. Wow. If you listen to the Rompola buck recovery video, the audio that is over that video is an excerpt from my radio conversation with Mitch in November of 1998, right after he shot that buck. I don't know where that audio came from because I don't have it. As I say, we weren't recording shows back then, and I wasn't too worried about it because I thought, well, I have an ongoing dialogue with Mitch. I'll be able to talk to him again. Little did I know he was going to go underground. So I don't have a copy of that audio. There is none in existence that I know of. Well, apparently there is somewhere. I actually asked Mitch this morning. I said, do you have a copy of that? Because I don't. He didn't respond. I didn't expect him to respond. Dean, good morning. Daryl, good morning. How are you? I liked your pictures of the albino moose. Very cool. By the way, folks, Daryl Godden right here of White River, Ontario, Canada. If you want to go on a wolf hunt, Daryl is your guy. I think he's got a couple of openings left. So anyway, that's a dream. That's not a resolution. That's not a goal. That's a dream for 2024 that Mitch would reach out to me and say, hey, yeah, let's do something. Let's talk. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's out there. Wouldn't it be cool? 2 minutes. Okay, let me tell you who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this weekend, because this is why I'm here in the studio, is to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Coming up, my first guest, John Durtka, the guy who pioneered underwater spearfishing in Michigan. John wants access to salmon. He can spear walleye now. He can spear lake trout now. He wants access to salmon. I don't expect that's going to be a popular notion. However, the underwater spear fishermen don't take that many fish. Biologically, it would not have an impact. So I want to talk to John about that. Hey, Randy, good morning. How are you? Randy Murray, always a pleasure. And then my last guest for the opening hour of this week's show is Bob Ransom of Primal Outdoors. In my second hour, this should be interesting. That's why I'm really hoping the UP stations do not repeat the second hour this week, because Dave Johnson, the president of the UP Sportsmen's Alliance, will join me to talk about, among other things, their deer season. Eric Hilliard of the DNR on the Pure Michigan Hunt this week's Ask Avery question: can you shoot an albino deer in Michigan? And in our third hour, Bob Hines from Central Coast Central Coast Angling talks about late season open water perch fishing. And of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Now, in just a few seconds, I'm going to switch my focus from this microphone, my official social media microphone, to this microphone, my official broadcast microphone. I will put on my official broadcast headphones. I will not be able to directly answer your questions as I have been, because I will be doing an official radio show, not a podcast. It's not a podcast. It's a radio show. I know that people just don't comprehend that these days, but it is. It's on 33 stations across the state. And then it's also made available as a podcast. Whoa, that means that it's time to go to work. It also means that I will not be directly answering your questions. 2 mics for stereo. Nope. 2 mics for different destinations, social media and broadcast. So I am going to record the first segment of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. You are welcome to stick around. If not, I understand. I do hope, though, you can join me tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. In the meantime, my friends, let me know if I need help tracking my deer. I appreciate that. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. So glad to have you along with us. How was your Christmas? I hope it was a blessed Christmas for you and your family. Around the Avery house, it was. It was absolutely wonderful. But now it's time to look forward to the new year and everything that will bring. In our outdoor passions, our outdoor pursuits, our outdoor lifestyle, Mother Nature plays a big role in what we get to do and what we enjoy and how we enjoy those activities, those passions, those pursuits. And if you're an ice fisherman, an ice angler, or if you like snow or snowmobiling or cross-country skiing or whatever, you're probably kind of bummed out right now, at least across most of the state. Just remember, Michigan's meteorologist, Mark Torregrossa, was here with me on the show about 6 weeks ago. I said, what does the winter weather forecast look like? He said, the forecast for November and December could bring some cold and some snow. He said, once we get through December, he said, the odds for a winter don't look very good. Well, guess what? We got through December. Now we're looking at January. Ugh. For the people who rely on cold and snow and ice for a big part of their income, I'm praying for you. I'm feeling bad for you. Because at this point, there are more people fishing open water across the state than there are fishing through the ice fishing. Good news for some, bad news for others. There is some fantastic open water fishing going on across the state, at least the lower part of the state. Steelhead action on the west side of the lower. On the east side of the lower, it's walleye fishing. Saginaw Bay, Saginaw River, Lake St. Clair, Detroit River, Lake Erie. Some big fish. This is the time of year now until the spawn to catch a double-digit fish. Hearing several reports of double-digit fish on Saginaw Bay, which during the summertime when I'm out there is just unheard of. You know, you catch a 27-inch fish out there, but it's a bullet. These days, now for the next 6 weeks or so, 2 months maybe, you catch a fish that length and you're going to have your double-digit fish. So if you can't go ice fishing, you go open water fishing. Or you wrap up the season deer hunting like I am. And I'll tell you right now, I still don't have a deer. Still, people, they send me emails, texts. I see them on the street. Did you get your deer yet? Did you get your doe? Not yet. Not as I am sitting here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio right now. There's still a few more days. It's sad, isn't it? It's so sad that somebody is such a bad hunter that they can't shoot a doe in Michigan, especially with the liberal harvests regulations that we have. I'm still hunting my rifle, my 350 Legend. I can't shoot what I don't see. I hear from people saying, yeah, I'm on my third doe, my fourth doe, my fifth doe, and that's fine. God bless you. I mean, the regulations are there that allow you to do it. Do it. We need to shoot more does. I'm faced with this decision. Do I stay on the lease property, or do I take advantage of the charity of one of my friends and go shoot one of their does? I have several friends who have reached out to me and say, Avery, don't be so stubborn. Don't be so stupid. I have deer coming into my food plots every day during daylight. Come on over and shoot one of my does. And I appreciate that. Thank you. And I was going to. But honestly, as I was sitting in the truck this morning in the parking lot of the radio station, going through the rundown, going through what I was going to cover in this week's show, I made the decision. I'm going to stick it out on the lease. And it likely will not happen. But I feel like, I don't know, it's the stubborn streak in me that says, stay there. And I don't know why. The last several times out there, what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing, or definition of stupidity in my case, doing the same thing over and over and trying to get a different result. I'm doing the same thing over and the last time out, and I have been hunting since we last talked, I said, okay, the deer aren't coming into the food plots during the daytime. Get away from the food plots. So I did. I sat in an old blind back into the woods, off the food plots, over towards the state land where, a lot of the deer are coming from. I thought, okay, I can intercept one of these big does on the way into the food plots. Didn't see a thing. And it was a pretty good night for it. I had an east wind, which was perfect. It was a little bit colder. It wasn't balmy like it had been the last several days. Didn't happen. Didn't see a thing. But I think I'm going to give it one more shot, no pun intended, and see what happens. By the end of the season, I will feel good knowing that I gave it everything that I had. I didn't hunt smart, but I hunted hard. We'll see what happens. So we are looking at a new year now. What happens with the new year? People make New Year's resolutions. I don't make New Year resolutions because resolutions are made to be broken. I make New Year goals, things that I want to work hard for, things that I will try my best to make happen. And one of them, again, in 2024 is to shoot a Michigan deer. It's not that hard of a goal. It shouldn't be. But that's a goal for 2024. Another New Year goal for 2024 is to fish more. In the summertime, I don't know how I could fish more. I spend a lot of time out there on Saginaw Bay on the angler quest, but I want to fish more. You know what else I want to do? I want to take more newbies out in the water. I really enjoy taking people out on Saginaw Bay who haven't fished before or haven't fished for walleye before and showing them how we fish, catching them a few fish. They won't be big fish. They'll be the small summertime Saginaw Bay, skinny water, inner bay fish. But people enjoy it, and I love it. That will be a goal. Another goal of mine for 2024 is to finally get rid of the stupid rod restrictions for Great Lakes trolling anglers. Why are we limited to 3 rods? It doesn't make any sense. The resource, the fishery, is protected by size limits and creel limits. Doesn't matter how many rods you use to catch them. It just hampers the small guy who's out there, or gal who's out there fishing by themselves, running 3 rods. Doesn't make any sense. And there are some things in the works behind the scenes that could make that happen. Now, I'm not responsible for those, but I am going to jump on that bandwagon. I'm going to beat that drum, and I'm going to do what I can to help those people get rid of that stupid rod restriction limit. Another goal I have, and this one I think I can do, is to win the Pure Michigan Hunt. That's been a goal of mine since the Pure Michigan Hunt. It's going to happen. I am going to win the Pure Michigan Hunt sometime while I'm still here on Earth. And if I can't win it, I hope you win it, and you've still got time to do that. It's only $5 to apply. And here's something that's not a goal. It's a dream. And I got thinking about this the last few days as this whole Rampolla buck, and it's not Rampala, it's Rampolla. The Rampolla buck just will not go away. Mitch Rampolla, who back in 1998 shot what would have been a world record had he submitted it. He didn't, for whatever reason, but the story won't go away. I have videos of my conversations with Mitch back in the day. I interviewed him on my radio show back in the day. That audio has since been lost, except for an excerpt from that conversation on the so-called Rampolla recovery video. I have reached out to Mitch. I have told him that, look at Mitch, if you want to talk, I'm your guy. I don't think he'll do it. I get why he's gone underground. I respect that. But I find it interesting that the vast majority of people who don't believe Mitch or believe the buck is legit have never talked to Mitch, have never met Mitch. Most people who have talked to Mitch, like me, and have met Mitch, tend to believe that it is legit. But it just won't go away. The story won't go away. I would like to be able to put Mitch's spin on this again. So that's a dream for 2024. It's not a goal, because a goal is something I can work towards. I reached out to Mitch. We'll see what happens. Coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show after the break, John Dirtka, the guy who pioneered underwater spearfishing in Michigan, wants to expand that a little bit. And then at the end of the hour, Bob Ransom, the guy behind Primal Outdoors. The next 2 hours look pretty good too, but I'm not going to tell you quite yet what's coming up. You've got to stick around to find out right here on Outdoor Magazine. All right, my friends, thanks for joining me. Not making that Instagram live thing happen this morning. I will work on that tonight for Wednesday Night Live. In the meantime, Happy New Year to you. I hope 2024 is a good year, and I hope to see you tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live.